All right, church. We back up in this thing, understand me? Trying to put some of that, understand me?
Dip on your chip.
Understand me? We back up in this thing, understand me? If you can hear me good, we got one viewer right now. That's enough to get started for the moment. If you can hear me loud and clear, please help me out. Let me know, understand me? Let me check it on my end. Let me see what we got here. Understand me? Let me check it on my end. Let me see what we got here. Sounds good. All right, church. It's Friday night. Some of y'all might not have no job. And you ain't got shit to do. So you may as well listen to me tell y'all about how the word says, understand me, that we need to, what does the Bible say, understand me, how we need to address these YNs out here, understand me. They out here going crazy. Guys out here, understand me. You understand me? We got here crashing out, understand me. It's not good for us, church. We need to do better. Understand me? We gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta hit him with that. Gotta hit him with that ultra instinct, understand me? Be dodging bullets, understand me? Like Goku, understand me? If you watch Dragon Ball Z, you understand what I'm talking about. It's gonna require some.
I've got balls of steel.
Understand me? It's gonna require a little bit of that. Understand me? It's gonna understand that. But right now we've been
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
We've been crashing out, church. It ain't been good for us out here. YNs have become abundant. YNs are in full effect, understand me? YNs ain't going nowhere no time soon unless we make them go, understand me? If we don't make them go, they're not going nowhere. With that said, let's go ahead and get my theme music. It's draft weekend, understand me? Cowboys looking good. I am unfortunately a Cowboys fan, but I don't take it too serious, understand me? Hey, I don't play for the Cowboys. Jerry Jones don't pay me. But I will be watching on. It's Fox NFL Sunday, understand me? I will be watching on Sundays when the Cowboys come back on and this fall, understand me? Go ahead and dive into the word, our first topic for the night. I appreciate everyone here coming to join me on this Friday night, understand me? Y'all could be in the bed, y'all could be out, understand me? But right now, y'all watching this presidential intellectual masculine receive, understand me? Talk about these YNs. Our first topic for tonight. The origin of the YN. Where did the YNs come from? Understand me? And if anybody want to chime in on the chat to let their grievances be heard, there's also a link to join the chat. If you would like to join in this conversation and let your grievances be heard live in full effect, click that link at the top in the description. Not the description, but in the comment section. And we can talk about it. Where did the YNs come from? Well, I would say that the generation of adults right now that are in the range of 35 to 55, understand me? We are responsible for the children that are being cultivated in the current times, understand me? We are the ones that raise these children. We are the ones that graze these children. We are the ones who are responsible for them being here. Now, with that said, what happened or what transpired to cause the quote-unquote YN to be in abundance nowadays? Well, a couple things happened. There were some agendas put in place, understand me, to remove quote-unquote masculine influence from homes, or whatever masculine influence a child has been getting has been from the perspective of a female, which may or may not be necessarily an issue. However, what we have come to understand is that feminine individuals cultivating masculine influence tends to come with its own set of grievances, its own set of circumstances, its own set of things that don't go according to plan. Why is that? Well, I would say that the Lord, good Lord Almighty, designed humans in a certain way for certain reasons. He put the masculine individual in the position of structure, guidance, direction, protection, all of the above. When you remove the masculine entity from the childbearing and child raising, well, not the childbearing, but the child raising process, the YN is what you get. A male that has taken on the characteristics and the mind state of a female. He still has a masculine body. He still has a masculine genetic makeup. He still has the capacity to create and cultivate and do harm to others with the strength of a masculine being. However, his mind is feminine. Hence, the term crash out, understand me? Whenever you see two females get into a fight, usually no one is harmed most of the time. But if you see two masculine, if you see two masculine bodied men get into a fight, usually someone gets hurt pretty bad. That is just a rule of how humans are made. Males are inherently stronger than females most of the time. There are exceptions to these rules, like there are exceptions to everything on this planet. However, the rules don't take no days off, church. The rules of the universe are here to stay. The YN is nothing more than the byproduct of a male child that has been exposed to way too much estrogen for a vast majority of his life. And the YN, quote unquote, is the results of that. Now, there are things that happen that prevent it, and we may dive into that. I think it is a subject for later on. But for now, we can move on to the next topic. The origins of the YN, in a nutshell, are nothing more than a byproduct of males being raised by primary females with little to no masculine influence. Hence, I did not say male influence, I said masculine influence. A lot of YNs have plenty of male influence, but not very much masculine influence. There is a difference between male and masculine, and we may have to define those things. But for now, let's move on. Why are YN so popular? So why within the constraints of the quote-unquote African American demographic of humans, why is this quote-unquote lifestyle so popular? Well, I remember a time when I was growing up as a child. We had our ways and we had our slang and we had the things that we did and words we used. I can't remember a lot of them because it's been so long since I spoke with the capacity of a young male. But we used several slang terms that were not becoming and or were not of the same slang term that our parents used. Terms that come to mind that the quote-unquote YNs use currently are bro. Everyone's a bro. Males are bros. Females are bros. They tend to use the words like. It's a conjunction word. So instead of saying for instance or saying for in this scenario here, they would say like. Well, I was here like this, I was here like that, and he was like this, and she was like that. And they also use the term I feel like very commonly. If you notice, I very rarely say the terms if ever. Not in recent times. I think I may have said it a couple times in my transition of making these videos. But I've learned and I have evolved to remove that word and that phrase from my vocabulary. I no longer use the phrase I feel like. I have not used it in quite some time. My emotions are not important when it comes to my logical reasoning and logical understanding of most things. Most of my deciphering of reality is tied to nothing more than my perspective on the analytical data, not what I feel about the data, but the data in and of itself. So YNs have become so popular because most of society has become way more feminine. There is an imbalance of too much masculinity in females and too much femininity within males. And this is not just tied to the quote unquote African American demographic. This is a reality where all people on this earth, for the most part, all modern societies are suffering from the quote unquote mindset of the YN, so to speak. Meaning that their children are imbalanced, erratical, emotionally disturbed, and quote unquote crying for help, crying for some kind of notion of belonging or some kind of notion of being a part of something. Hence them all being quote unquote followers of the quote unquote YN lifestyle. We see quite often on the news today and Facebook and YouTube or any kind of media you can think of, how you see almost every day there's a quote unquote YN crashing out, killing somebody, or somebody killing a YN. A YN has been killing somebody, or a YN has been getting killed by somebody for the past couple weeks. There has been some kind of news article about someone crashing out and killing somebody. Got brother advice for kings. He popping in. Hey, and if you want to chime in, understand me, you want to join the live, there's a link at the top in the description, not the description, but there's a link right there where you can click and join the stream if you want to talk, understand me. Or we can just sit and watch. Need all the help I can get, understand me. YNs are popular because society made it popular. Society told young people that this is the look. We had our looks as kids. This is not about blaming the children for doing what children do. Children only do what their parents allow them to do, what their parents have cultivated them to do. We've seen the root origins of it in the last topic, that the YNs were a byproduct of too much femininity in households. And now we see the byproduct of that showing and bearing its fruits. We have children that are out of bounds, out of control, emotionally unstable, with no end in sight. Until, quote unquote, masculine men and feminine women join together to raise their children properly, the YN epidemic will not stop anytime soon. It will only get worse. And it will get to a time to where you can't avoid the ramifications of the YN. The same way you couldn't avoid COVID. Everyone had to put the mask on, understand me? No one could avoid either putting the mask on or getting the shot, understand me? You had to do one or both. That is the reality of our world. We are social creatures here. You can't avoid society. You must live with it. You can do what you can to try to change it to make it better, but you can't live without it. You can't bypass it. You must live amongst it. And if you plan to live outside of it, you need enough money and enough resources to remove yourself from it. You probably most likely ain't got it, unless you got your own land with its own farming system and its own gaming system within it, segregated from everyone else. Good luck. You're not going to be able to separate yourself from society, so I highly recommend we learn how to make it better. Instead of quote unquote praying about things without very much action to improve things. The Bible says faith without works is dead, understand me? That means you must, if you plan to pray about something, you must have some kind of tangible work you plan to do to make that prayer a reality. Otherwise, it's not a prayer. So, another key question we're going to fold into. Are you a YN? Understand? We did a lot of talking about YNs. Well, The term YN is slang for young, Nigger, understand me, or Nigga, if you fancy. It's just a slang term to describe young adolescents that are a little bit rambunctious. The ones that do a lot of just killing and stealing and shooting and wheeling and dealing, understand me? Well, as we've seen why they're so popular, well, we have come to understand, and what I have come to understand, that quote unquote toxic masculinity is better than any masculinity or no masculinity at all. These young boys have willed themselves to the lane of quote unquote toxic masculinity. So what is toxic masculinity? Well, if you ask me, it's not actually masculine at all. Toxic masculinity is pretty much a male conducting himself in a manner that isn't very masculine all the time. He's all over the place, which inherently so is not masculine. Toxic masculinity is nothing more than a male being kind of overbearing or wild for no reason, or very aggressive, so to speak, when it is not warranted. Masculinity can be calm, but it can escalate at a moment's notice at the same time. Masculinity in and of itself is, at its pinnacle, is directly tied to violence. However, a wise man and a wise masculine man is slow to anger most of the time. I have to work on that myself. I have certain triggers that anger me almost instantly. One of those I have come to understand is any man or male that attributes any kind of scenario going on in their life to something outside of themselves. I understand that circumstances happen, and I understand that racism is real to a degree. However, I am living proof that it can be overcome in spite of it being a reality. I also understand that where you live is a direct contributor to your capacity excuse me, church, to overcome that reality. They come in twos, understand me? So we are very well versed in the reality that racism is a very real thing. However, it can be overcome. I'm living proof of it, and most of the men around me are living proof that racism is only one subset or one factor in the overarching scale and overarching reality of whatever you choose to manifest. If you believe racism is holding you back, you're right. If you believe racism cannot hold you back, you're also right. Both of those people are right, and both people get the results that they quote unquote manifest. Look at this nice, beautiful place. I thought I could do it before I did it, understand me? There's a lot of money on this screen. Not to say that it means anything. However, I thought I could do it before I did it. I had a conversation with people who said something about starting a podcast, I'll say 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. I gave them the whole list of all the things I bought and all the things that they need to get. Even offered to help get them the stuff. I would even up to the point to give them some money to get the stuff. Verbatim. You think any of those people started or recorded one thing outside of something on their cell phone? I think not. So to circle back around on the actual topic, are you a YN? Maybe so. Some people may be YNs in denial. You may be a crash out in disguise. But some of the traits of a quote-unquote YN is a man who doesn't have responsibility or emotional control or just can't seem to get right. Always a day late and $1 short, understand me? Those are the traits of the YN. So if you're always a day late and $1 short, if you always need something, if you always the Negro that ain't ever got it but always need it, understand me? You might be a YN, sir. Even if you old, you're an ON, understand me? You're an old nigga, understand me? Bless your heart. I think I'd rather be a YN than an old N. Put this on here. Is your son a YN, understand me? Hey, I don't have children yet, but I've come to the conclusion that if it's still in style by the time I have children, if I have a son, I may require him to continue to get haircuts until he leaves my house. I think it's something very disturbing about a man, or it doesn't matter if it's young or old, that has bangs, and when he's outside he has to swing his hair back and brush his bangs back. See how sassy that was? That was very sassy, understand me? That's how y'all be looking with y'all bangs, man. That's how y'all look with y'all bangs, dog. Y'all be getting y'all hair out your face. Y'all look just like that. See how sassy that was? Getting your hair out your face. It's the little things that add up. So if your son got long dreads, he might be a YN. If he's a little sassy, he's a little feminine, and he's not gay, he might be a YN. Well, you might not be able to tell if he's feminine. If you are a woman and you're raising him into you're too masculine. If you're a man and you're in this side of life and you're too feminine, you're not gonna notice that he's sassy as he gets his bangs out his face. You won't be the wiser. Your radar is off. You don't have your capacity to articulate and or interpret information. You can't articulate a solution for your son, and you can't decipher when he's a little bit out of bounds either. You can't tell what's wrong with your boy. You have no clue if he's a YN or not. Why? Because most likely you probably a YN your damn self. Understand me? Bless your heart. We already talked about some of the signs of if you're a YN. Well, if your son is always where he's not supposed to be, or always just can't get right. He always in trouble doing something somewhere. You also have to know your children. You have to be wise enough to see and notice when they're off base. You have to be able to know when your children are a little bit out of bounds. Know your kids. Get some better people skills. You should better pick up on cues when your son or your daughter is not really operating the way that you know they should. They should be pretty consistent on how they conduct themselves. Humans are creatures of habit. Last I checked. They don't just magically do things out the blue. Most likely the signs that they were doing something out of bounds were there. You just didn't have the capacity to see or process them, unfortunately for you. Next topic. Are any of your friends or family YNs? Understand me? Well, they say if you find 4 or something, the fifth one is you. Meaning that if you have 4 friends that are birds of a feather flock together, understand me? We used to say all the time, we seen 4 hoes, understand me? You the 5th one. And if you ain't the 5th one, then why you hang out with hoes? If you're not a YN, why you hanging out with men that are always a day late and $1 short? Why are you hanging out with men that are always in the wrong place at the wrong time? Why are you always hanging out with men that are a little sassy? A lot of these issues are directly attributed to the fact that everyone wants to have their own definition of things instead of just looking at the definition for what it is. Masculinity is pretty self-explanatory, and the Webster Dictionary describes it very well, and or if you go to Google and look it up, it's very precise. However, somehow, some way, we have allowed non-masculine individuals to define masculinity. We have women telling men what a man's supposed to be. I said on the last stream, I'm not necessarily qualified to tell a woman what she's supposed to be. However, I know what the inverse of me is. I know what the inverse of masculinity is, and the inverse of masculinity is femininity. So the woman should be the opposite of me of most times. If she is not that means that she is not on base. Understand me? She's a little bit off base. Understand me? It's my job, it's my position as a leader of the flock, so to speak, the leader of my home, so to speak, to be able to know if my family or friends are a little off base. I'm supposed to be able to know when the people around me aren't what they're supposed to be. I'm supposed to be able to pick up on the small cues and be wise enough to know when people are a little out of bounds. And do what I can to correct it if you are a masculine man, if you have the capacity to do so. Hence, I continue to say masculine, not male. I do not say male. I do not say female. I say masculine. There is a such thing as a masculine and gay man. There is a such thing as a masculine or feminine gay woman. Those things exist. You may not understand it, but that is a reality. An example that comes to mind that everybody can probably, I want to say, relate to, but most people have seen this movie. The most masculine character on the movie Friday After Next was Damon. He was gay as hell, but he was masculine nonetheless. He dominated every scene, and the only time he was not in a frame of masculinity, meaning dominating the scene, is whenever Cat Williams got the best of him with the pliers. Understand me? That is the one and only time. Up until then, he's very masculine. Even when he was dancing to Tupac, it was a masculine dance. It made it more funny. If you don't know you're a YN, if you're a YN or not, most lucky you are. Well, we kind of went down through what a YN is, deciphering who made them, who's responsible for them. I say we are. The people within the age bracket of 35 to 55, we made the YNs. We are why the YNs are here. We didn't do nothing to stop it. We ain't doing nothing to stop it right now. But what can we do? Who's responsible for starting? Well, I say the same people who made them appear in the first place. The people that created the scenarios that allow YNs to exist are the ones responsible for solving it. And how do we solve it amongst us in our old age? We can't beat them up. We can't kill them because we'll go to jail. Well, what I think we can do is we can lead by example, so to speak. We can get our lives together, so to speak. We can become beacons of hope or beacons of rays of success or become examples of what a YN might sought to be one day. Become what a YN can look up to instead of just someone telling them to correct themselves when you are not in a position of correction for anybody, let alone a young man or a young woman that's trying to figure things out. You can absolutely make yourself a better person. You can absolutely learn to do things in better ways. You can absolutely unlearn what you've known your whole life. I did it. It took me from sleeping in my car to making $250,000 a year. It didn't take long. And I grew up in Tyler, Texas, drinking well water in Chapel Hill in the summertime, living in a house that would be considered condemned by today's standards. And look at me now. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Why did I do it? Because I thought I could do it before I took action. My mind said, hey, I'm better than this. My mind said, hey, you can do better than living check to check. You can do better than sleeping in your car. You can do better than needing to borrow money. Not to say that I did that very much. I could probably count on maybe one hand how many times I actually borrowed legitimate money. I've been blessed to be in a position to where I'm the one who has it, not the one who needs it. Fortunately for me. But it's not because of anything special that I did. God provided me the opportunities to create my reality on my own terms, and I did just that. As I said in the last stream, we are extensions of God, meaning that anything that we want to cultivate on our own, we can. This body is just a shell for your soul. but your soul can transcend it in this plane and the next, or any other plane that you may manifest to. Not sure what the word is, but metamorph, I don't know. Transform, I guess. I guess that's a word you can use. But our body is just a shell for your soul. So in order for us to even think about Stop the Wines, we got to become people that are worthy of someone following and listening to. Become someone should listen to. And know it's a factual scenario. Know for a fact that you are worthy of listening to. Not just because you feel so. You have to show some results. Show some tangible product. Show some proof of concept that what you do and what you say and how you live is effective for you and anyone else who does it. That's the key. It can't just be effective for you. It has to be effective for everybody who does it. And the lessons that I have taught myself and the lessons that I have poured into everyone else that applies them, they were effective for 100% of those people. Every single person that took the advice that I learned on my own through trial and error and disseminated to them, 100% of those people live lives better than they thought they could live. All of them. Now I know that what I'm saying is true. Now I can tell other people about it. Now I can go with full confidence that, hey, the information that I know is factual, repeatable, and teachable. It has to be all those things. It has to be factual, repeatable, and teachable. By you. You're the one who did it. If you are watching this and you have figured out how to do something great, teach somebody else how to do it. We all have skills. We all have things that we are good at. We all have things and ways we can help other people to do great things. Use the gifts God gave you to do great things. Highly recommended. When we start learning how to do great things as a collective consciousness, quote unquote, the Christ, then the YNs will no longer be a thing that kids want to do. They will no longer want to participate in that culture. They will want to be something that's more upstanding because they see us doing it. They see us living high on the hog, understand me? They see us living real nice and lavish, understand me? They want to be here too. I think I had a couple YNs in the comment section say, hey, I need an OG, I need some mentorship. Those are the people that need these lessons or need these realities the most. The young men and women who haven't yet figured things out, but they are at that very precious age of transitioning from grade school or high school into being young adults. They are at the age where they are most likely to be fornicating and being procreation and whatnot. I'm not sure what the statistics are on teen pregnancies right now. Don't really care. However, I'm pretty sure they are higher now than they were back when we were growing up. Not to say that means anything. We are not better than the kids that are coming up now. I see plenty of people say, oh, it ain't like how it used to be. Well, it wasn't that good back then either. If it was that good, then if we were so better, if we were so much better than our children that are walking around today, why didn't we teach them better? If we were so great, why do YNs exist in the first place? Why? Because we weren't as good as we thought we were. You weren't as good as a parent as you thought you were for your child. If you don't know everything your child thinks and how they think and how they move and how they go about their day, not to say you hounding them or sweating them, so to speak, but you should just know this. You should know how your child will handle most scenarios outside of your presence. Why? Because you should be the one who instilled how they handle most things. You're the one who's supposed to be teaching them how to handle most things. Now we know humans are going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to learn things in their own time, but you must instill a very good baseline. I should know that for sure. You must instill very valuable lessons within the mind of that child to where when they leave you, most of those lessons still stay with you. My parents did the best they could with what they had. In the grand scheme of things, as I look back on it now with 2020 vision, the things my parents taught me were respect for elders, respect for authority, and a little bit of responsibility for getting things done, meaning household chores. That's about it. Everything else I learned about how to be a man or how to be an adult, that was through my own trial and error. They didn't teach me nothing about my career. They didn't know the first thing about a computer or network engineering. They didn't know the first thing about clippers or cutting hair. So they didn't teach me those careers. Neither one of them joined the military. However, I did, and 3 of my friends and 3 of my cousins did. And we all living pretty good lives. Who's to know if they would have done it if I didn't go first? Who knows? It's water under the bridge now. Oh Lord. But life must go on. Can the YNs be stopped? Well, we dove a lot on who is responsible. Well, if we get ourselves in position of leverage, meaning that if we all become better people collectively, we will have more money, we will have more influence, we will have more resources, we have the capacity to move and do great things collectively. We speak about, or we heard of the quote-unquote Black Panthers or Black Wall Street. Well, the reality of kind of fixed things in this country, due to the nature of how we live in it currently, is that amongst us black people, yes, we must do our part to get ourselves in a better position, but guess what? It's going to require the help of white people to move the needle, to make things better for us. It always has. In modern times, they're the ones that's in power. How can we really make significant change in this country without the help of white people? Not to say we don't have our own work, not to say we don't need to sweep up our own floor and to sweep up our own porch first. We absolutely must do that. But in addition to that, we must learn how to join arms with the people who are in positions of leverage more than we are for now. And until we do enough to change that reality or change that dynamic, if we have the capacity to do so, then we must work with them. In spite of our quote-unquote cultural differences, meaning the racial barriers, so to speak, and if they no one is saying that they don't exist, they absolutely positively do. Cool. Now what? Racism is real. We still got to get this work done. We still got to stop the YNs. Because guess what? The white people getting affected by the YNs too. Everybody got black fatigues, apparently. Everybody is fatigued of black culture. Unfortunately, black culture has become associated with chaos. Whether it's true or not, that's what the stigma and the status quo says. Most people are followers. Most people follow trends. What's trending right now? The NFL draft. Most people are watching the NFL draft and getting excited about who picked who. Got Cowboys fans excited about 2 draft picks. None of us play for the Cowboys, but we're excited nonetheless. Why? Because the trends say so. Everybody's watching the draft. Everybody's posting about the draft. Everybody's talking about the draft. Hey, I'm a social creature, so I'm going to join in the conversation too. Well, what we must do is we must make it socially acceptable to do the right thing most of the time and hold ourselves accountable, and then inherently so we can hold other people accountable, including the YNs, and we can have leverage amongst ourselves. People have banded together to rid neighborhoods of bad people before. But it's not going to happen when you part of the problem yourself. So be part of the solution, and then we may just have a chance of stopping them. If they're going to be stopped, it's going to require us putting ourselves in positions of leverage. So we talked about, can they be stopped? Are you willing to do what it takes? Well, it will be a daunting task. Stopping young adolescents from crashing out or being a part of the problem that we are responsible for creating, it's going to take you looking in the mirror and say, hey, I'm actually responsible for this. I got stake in the game. Got another comment from Mr. Brother Advice. If, as a parent, you can't put your child in a controlled outcomes so you can mediate, you should reevaluate. Meaning, as we spoke earlier, as I was saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, pretty much he is saying that you should know your children better than they know themselves. And you got the capacity to control the environment, to control and dictate how you, quote unquote, give them corrective training, so to speak. You should be observant of anything and all things that they are doing at all times while they're in your presence. Enough to the point to where you can interpret and decipher their activities when they're not in your presence. It's extremely important for you to have this skill. Why? Because there may be a time when your child is actually getting messed with by an adult in whatever way they are, and you need to be able to decipher if your child is telling the truth. I don't believe most parents have the capacity to know if and when their child is lying or not. They may think they know, but I don't think you have enough data on your children, or do you have enough information on how to interpret humans in general to know when you've been lied to. How do I know this? Well, y'all keep falling for the same okie dokie. Y'all keep getting in relationships with bad people, quote unquote. Men still get in bad relationships with, quote unquote, bad baby mamas, quote unquote. And women still having babies by, quote unquote, bad baby daddies. Well, your interpretation of human skills needs some work. Expeditiously. Hey, boy, what do I know? I'm just nigga. Figure some things out. Are you willing to do what it takes? Hey, what's required is you getting out your own way. What's required is you getting yourself in position of leverage where someone is willing to listen to you. Where you know for sure the information that comes out of your mouth directly lines up with your tangible results. You can back up your results, your words, and they all interconnect and align with each other. They validate each other. Your words and your actions should be complementary, so to speak. There should never be a time to where your words and your actions do not line up with each other. And we just talked about, surprisingly so, how we're going to need the white people. Well, this falls into that question. What role does the government play? Well, when it comes to actually doing the work within our neighborhoods, not so much. However, when it comes to large-scale policy that tend to make certain things illegal or make certain activities more harshly punished, so to speak, then the quote-unquote federal government will play a vital role. Unfortunately, as of right now, the government is being used as a tool to imprison most of the YNs, not necessarily as a tool to correct their actions. Most of the YNs just crashing out, continuing to crash out, and all that's happening is, he agreed. I guess I summed it up pretty well. I was able to interpret it and get the proper context. He said exactly. Understand me. I've become wise in my old age. I've become very observant. Very keen to seeing the unseen, understand me? It's quite troubling that the things that I'm able to see and process, and the overwhelming amount of people that don't have the capacity to see and process information in the way that I do. What's plain as day to me is quite hard to digest for many others, and I think I assume is more so because they are still viewing most reality and most things and most scenarios from a emotional lens. They don't take out the time to decipher, and I've used that word a couple of times, but they don't take out the time to interpret. That's a better word. That's a better word than decipher. They don't take out the time to interpret the tangible logical data before they come to a conclusion on what transpired. It doesn't matter what scenario. It doesn't matter if we're talking about just going to work that day. I'll give you an example for just something that comes to my mind. So you're going to work today and you're running late and you're having a bad day and someone cuts you off in track and you get into a road rage incident. Well, the logical data says that if you would have left the house earlier, number one, you would have still been on time. And number two, that person that you had the incident with wouldn't even been on the road at the same time you were. They would have been late or wherever, at whatever time frame they was getting there. It would not have affected you. Why? Because you were on the road at the same time as them. That is the reality of the scenario at hand. There are consequences for actions, or there are consequences for us not being in the right place at the right time. Nothing. That's how we got the 92 crime bill. We must police all. Well, that's a response to the question of what can and what will the government do to play a role in helping us with the YN culture. Well, Mr. Brother Bryce says that the amount of help we're going to get is minuscule. And I agree. However, if we get enough leverage, we get enough resources, we may be able to demand that they help. We may be able to demand that y'all chip in. Who knows? That's going to require us sweeping up our own floor first. Microphone sensitive, church. This is a great question right here. We got one more after this. Can women help with stopping the YNs? Well, the women are in an ideal society. If things were perfectly balanced in harmony for us, the masculine and the feminine entities were within their proper roles and proper spaces. The ideal scenario for men, women in relationships, generally speaking, is that the man makes enough money to take care of the family on his own income, and the woman working is optional. That is the ideal scenario. With that scenario, the woman is the one who is in a direct extension of the man in his rule and his ordainment and his protection and correction, so to speak. She's an extension of him. And the most powerful thing a woman can say to her child is, I'm going to tell your daddy when he gets home. She doesn't even have to even step out of her feminine nature. She can put all that on him. He can be the overbearing force, so to speak. And generally speaking, he should be better at it. He's stronger. He's should have more bass in his voice. His voice should carry and have more of a correcting tone than hers. Generally speaking, that's the ideal scenario, that a woman is fully engulfed in her quote-unquote role of raising her children. And she's raising them the way that he sees fit. She is a direct extension of him, and he should be a direct extension of God. When you conduct it in that manner, when you conduct the things in that manner, meaning that your man or the man of the house is a direct extension of God and the woman is a direct extension of him, the likelihood of that union producing a YN is slim to none. Unless somehow, some way that quote-unquote man of God isn't very masculine, and we have very feminine men that consider themselves men of God. Well, you can't be a man of God and be feminine. You can be a man of God and be perfectly balanced, as Jesus was. But I don't think we got the capacity to be perfectly balanced, being androgynous, so to speak. I don't think we got that capacity. So I highly recommend males in relationships align themselves with more masculine demeanor and more masculine constraints and constructs and mindset and behaviors. Those will be very beneficial to most men. I truly understand. And for the last topic, we're going to bring it back to the good old Google. Understand me? Let's see what Google says about the YN, so to speak. Already brought up. What the Bible say on young people? Let's see what Google AI has provided for us tonight, church. This is an AI view overview. All I do is Google search the Bible on young people. Pretty self-explanatory. And I read and I quote, the Bible portrays young people as a blessing, a source of strength, and capable of significant leadership, while urging them to honor God early, maintain purity, and set examples in conduct. It's amazing how pretty much everything we talked about on this show today, because I didn't look at this before doing the show, but it's amazing how everything I said is pretty much lined up directly verbatim with what this AI overview is saying, what the Bible would say. I continue to tell people that you don't have to be a Bible scholar to understand the concepts of the lessons. You can read one book and one scripture and get the context of one book and one scripture in the Bible and learn a whole lot of lessons that'll carry you very far in life. I think we created a false barrier of entry to, and let me put the proper subject up there. I think we created a false narrative and a false sense of reality, as if you need to be a Bible scholar in order to quote unquote know the word, and that's not true. You don't have to be a Bible scholar to go on Google and see what a scripture means. If you seek and want to know the information, you will find it and be directed to it. It will be delivered to you. Set examples in conduct. Key themes include fleeing, youthful passions, avoiding being looked down upon, and remembering their creator during their youth. So as I said before, the YNs are a result of us. We created the YNs, so we can't blame them. Did I say that? I said, hey, avoid looking down on them. If your children are not conducting themselves properly, you're the one who's at fault. Take some accountability. Look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I did this. It's all me, baby. You are the reason why your children are not doing what they're supposed to do. There's some other scriptures for context, but we don't have to dive into it on that church. You want to know more about what the Bible says on young people, all you got to do is Google it too. If you want to know it, then go read the Bible for yourself. Do not depend on me. Do not depend on the pastor. Do not depend on anybody to give the word to you. Go decipher it and get it for yourself so you can make sure nobody's lying to you. I may be full of shit. I may be scamming. I may have bought all this stuff with PPP loan money or something. Maybe. It might be PPP loan, y'all. I may be scamming. I may not even live in. I might be in the hood somewhere. This might not be uptown dollars. This might be in the hood somewhere. You need to do the work that's required to get some clarity and knowledge within yourself, to where it gets to the point where no one can lie to you. When you really learn to maneuver life in the proper way, you're no longer subject to the things that confuse most people. You will transition to a mentality that, quote unquote, guards you from most harmful scenarios. I haven't had a bad day in a long time. Do I have escalated moments of disappointment? Yeah, but I wouldn't consider it a bad day. It was just Tuesday. It was nothing to really be upset about, but hey, I'm human, so sometimes I may get a little animated. However, was it warranted? Was it really worth me being upset that day about that scenario? Most likely not. And with that said, church, about to get up off of here. I got to get up early in the morning and go work, since I got a job, and so I got 3 jobs, including this one. Cut hair. I'm a network engineer, and I'm trying to do YouTube somehow, some way. I appreciate the viewers. We had a pretty good count tonight. We had 4 or 5 steady, ongoing viewers for quite some spell. We got 3 still right now. The Lord says, the word says, where 2 or more gathered, so shall I be. You understand me? And we got 3 plus me. With that said, church, I appreciate y'all staying up with me. I appreciate y'all watching the streams. Apologize for having to delay it on Wednesday. We had some construction outside, and I was tired, so I processed it. It probably wasn't a good night to try to do a live video with them hammering on nails outside my door. So with that said, church, we'll try to get back on our regular schedule program. I might try to start doing this on Sunday as well, 2 times a week potentially. And if not, then you can catch me at this same bat channel on Wednesday next week. I don't know what day that is, but Wednesday next week, understand me, I shall be back. And we do have another long form video with me and Mr. Brother Advice that's being edited right now. That should be dropping within the next couple of days, understand me. They haven't sent it back to me, but I already paid for it, so we shall see how long it takes for them to get the video back to me. With that said, church, I appreciate y'all. Signing off.